Hello. Hello. Oh, I see. I suggest if you're going to do this, and be first, you wear a 100% wool jacket and a hoodie. I was hoping people were going to show up, but I owe the most embarrassing moments of my life to Melanie Cunningham. Melanie was a second grade student in the same class as me, 1982. She was a total fox and a grade A troublemaker. Melanie had a whole arsenal of things she liked to do to try and get herself and others in trouble in the classroom, and her favorite was speaking to you while the teacher was speaking. Now, we all know that's like football or hockey. They catch the person who's retaliating, not the person who actually causes the commotion. And so that was me. I'm sure it was something very important that Melanie said to me, like, "It's Sloppy Joe Day." And I responded, and I was very shocked and horrified. I was a good kid, very polite, never really got in trouble, was always, to the nines in class. And the teacher blurted out my name. Well, I didn't know what to do, so it was something like, "Michael, I don't want to hear another word come out of your mouth." Right? So I'm 7, and I know what that means. It means as long as you're in my presence, I don't ever want to hear you speak again for the rest of my life. It was about 90 seconds before I had to pee. And even at that young and impressionable age, you know that raising your hand to ask to go to the restroom is akin to speaking. I mean, you certainly can't do that, so I didn't know what to do. I sat and I waited, and my legs started to shake, and I did the whole glaring at Melanie thing. And eventually, instinct took over, and so I bolted. I just decided I'm gonna fucking go for it, right? I'm going to the men's room, the boys' room, go to the lavatory, and that's all there is to it. So I in my memory, I flip over my desk and explosions go off, and so I'm out the door and I'm down the hall, and of course the class follows me because they need to know what the commotion is, and the teacher is yelling, "Sit down, everyone, sit down," and it's all great and it's all whatever, but then I'm standing in the doorway to the lavatory, and the snickering starts, because for the last 15 feet, I just pissed myself. Well, I have children now. Like, I have a 15-year-old and a 12-year-old, and I know that when you send your, in the new age here, you send your children to school with extra pants, because they're going to have an accident sooner or later. Every kid does. I did not grow up in such a time you had to wear the goofy pants. They sat in the nurse's office. This was a pair of red and blue plaid pants, big enough and long enough for any of the 85 students in my elementary school, and you wore them as a badge of shame for the rest of the day. And then you took them home and you got them laundered by your parents, and you brought them back the next day, and it was no big deal. Well, it was a big deal for like 6 hours. My mom was a working mom, a full-time working single mom, and so we lived in a 2-bedroom apartment without a laundry. We used the laundromat every Saturday, and my mom calmly explained to me, the goofy pants, we're gonna have to wait till Saturday to get washed. Well, this was like a Tuesday, and I was terrified. I didn't want to get in trouble for the second day in a row not taking the goofy pants back to school, so I tried to plead with her, please just take this one pair of pants to the laundry room. Get me in. She said, "Michael, the odds of somebody pissing themselves for the rest of the week are mathematically impossible." The very next day, it was Melanie Cunningham. I'm not kidding, this is true. In gym class, she was like a dodgeball sniper. She hit me with the force of 10 grown adults squarely and directly in the bladder. And in the cafeteria slash gymnasium slash auditorium where the tables fold into the walls, I stood for the second time in 24 hours in a puddle of my own urine. That is the response that deserves. So that's the bell. That's my embarrassing story, but I just have to finish by saying that you're wondering what happened. I spent about the next 3 hours in the nurse's office wrapped in a towel until my mother could get there. Because today, there were no goofy pants.
Thank you very much.